Most people in Willow Creek knew me simply as Jack Harlow, the quiet, worn-looking older man who walked with a limp and kept to himself. What they didn't know, because I never told anyone, was that I owned more than half the land surrounding the town, including the property on which my daughter planned to get married. My daughter, Emily, believed I was just a rough-looking ranch hand with nothing to offer but weathered skin, old boots, and a face carved by years of sun and hard work. And I never corrected her. Her mother died when she was 8, and I raised her alone. But somewhere along the line, high school, college, city life, she grew ashamed of the very life that raised her. Still, I never missed a birthday, never missed a graduation, never stopped loving her. I only realized she had stopped loving parts of me the day her wedding invitation arrived. It had no seat number, no mention of Dad, just stiff, fancy text. Please note, ceremony attendance is restricted to preserve the wedding's aesthetic theme. Aesthetic theme, a polite way of saying I didn't fit the picture. I called her that evening. She didn't answer, so I drove to her bridal rehearsal at the venue, my land, though she didn't know that, and asked her quietly, "Emily, why wasn't I on the guest list?" She froze. Her new fiancé, Tyler, with his polished shoes and too-white smile, came to her side like a guard. "Jack," she said softly, avoiding the word Dad, "we're trying to keep the ceremony elegant, a certain atmosphere." I stared at her. "What does that mean?" She inhaled sharply. "Dad, you look like a ranch worker who hasn't rested in a decade. Tyler's family is expecting something refined, and I don't want you to feel out of place. The photos, the crowd. I just think it's better if you sit this one out." I swallowed hard. "You're embarrassing me." She didn't deny it. Tyler put an arm around her. "We hope you understand." I didn't answer. I turned and left before she could see the hurt. Years of dust storms and winters had hardened my skin, but nothing prepared me for that blow. I spent the next 2 days pacing my long, empty ranch house, wondering where I had gone wrong, wondering if I should show up anyway, wondering if she would ever see me as more than a rugged, wrinkled face in old flannel shirts. But the morning of the wedding, I made a decision. Not revenge. No, just truth. And truth began with a single phone call. The sun shone over Willow Creek, crisp and golden. Guests were already arriving at the sprawling outdoor venue, the one sitting directly on my land. I dialed the number of Richard Gaines, my lawyer of 20 years. "Richard." I said, "Execute the withdrawal." He paused. "The property rights?" "All of them. Today. And the event?" "Cancel the permit." "And your daughter?" I closed my eyes. She made her choice. Richard sighed. "You sure about this, Jack?" "I'm not punishing her," I whispered. "I'm teaching her something she won't learn any other way." "Understood." 20 minutes later, sheriff vehicles rolled up the gravel driveway of the wedding grounds. The white tents, the string lights, the floral arches, it all sparkled under the Montana sky. Guests murmured in confusion as deputies stepped out. Deputy Morgan approached the event coordinator. "Ma'am, this venue is operating without valid property authorization. You need to shut it down immediately." "That's impossible," the coordinator cried. "We submitted everything weeks ago." Morgan checked his clipboard. "Owner revoked permissions this morning." Tyler stormed forward. "Who the hell owns this land? I'll buy it out right now." Morgan lifted his gaze, eyes landing on the man stepping out an old pickup truck pulling into the clearing. "Me." I walked Tower. RD the tent slowly, hat in hand, boots sinking into the soft earth. Guests stared. Some whispered. Emily stood in her elegant white gown near the floral arch, confusion twisting into fear. "Dad," she whispered. Tyler's face turned red with irritation. "Jack, we're in the middle of a ceremony. Tell them it's a mistake." I handed Deputy Morgan a folder. "No mistake," I said, voice steady. "This land is mine. Every acre, including the exact patch where you planned this wedding." Emily blinked, stunned. "Why, your land? Dad, what are you talking about?" I finally met her eyes. "I'm not just a ranch worker, Emily. I'm the ranch owner. Always have been. I just never felt the need to flaunt it." She stepped closer, voice trembling. Why didn't you ever tell me? Because I wanted you to love me, I said quietly, not my bank account. A ripple of shock spread among guests. Tyler scoffed. So what? You're rich and you never upgraded your look. He made a vague gesture toward me. I stared at him, unblinking. My looks are earned. Years of work, storms, and sacrifice. I turned to Emily. You didn't want me at your wedding because I didn't match your aesthetic. You didn't want me in your photos, standing beside polished people who care more about appearances than hearts. She covered her mouth, tears pooling. Dad, I'm sorry. I just wanted a perfect day. I nodded gently. And I just wanted a daughter who wasn't ashamed of me. Tyler stepped between us. Emily, don't fall for this guilt trip. Let's call another venue. We can fix this. I looked at him coldly. Son, you won't marry my daughter today. Not on my land. Not with my consent. And not while she still thinks love depends on appearances. Emily broke. Her bouquet felt the dirt as she rushed toward me. I didn't know, she cried, gripping my arms. I didn't know you were hurting like that. I was so stupid, Dad. I held her shaking shoulders. You were misled, I whispered, by people who care about surface more than soul. She turned slowly toward Tyler. For the first time, she saw him clearly. The judgment, the embarrassment he showed whenever her father was mentioned, the way he flinched at the thought of anything imperfect. Tyler, she said softly, maybe this isn't the man I want to be with. He scoffed. Seriously? Yes. She wiped her tears. I choose my father. Tyler cursed under his breath and stormed off. A few guests followed him. Most stayed, awkward, unsure, witnessing truth unfold. Emily turned back to me with a choked laugh. So, I guess the wedding really is over. I smiled gently. I'll give you the best wedding someday, I said, pulling her into an embrace, one where the only aesthetic that matters is love. She sobbed against my chest. Dad, I don't deserve you. I stroked her hair softly. You're my daughter. That's all that matters. Later that evening, as the Montana sky faded into violet and gold, Emily sat with me on the old wooden porch swing. Her gown was wrinkled, her mascara smudged, but her eyes were clearer than they had been in years. Dad, she whispered, resting her head on my shoulder, thank you for ending it. I kissed the top of her head. I didn't end your happiness, I murmured. I ended your mistake. And for the first time in a long time, she held my hand.